Justice League number 3. So we start the book. Sinestro. It's a flashback to before he had a green ring, because it actually ends with like a Green Lantern like crashing or whatever behind
Which
him.
I like though that because as we know that most Green Lanterns don't travel in ships. I like that there's a parallel between Abin Sur and him crashing in a ship and giving the ring to Hal to whoever crashed for Sinestro also crashed in a ship.
Yeah, that's good. Because we find Sinestro basically finds this power, Umbrax, right? Well, this is the one thing I'll criticize Scott Snyder for, is that we're on issue 3 and we have like 5 like different like concepts and new names to remember of different things. It is like, okay, we got Umbrax now, which is the thing that now is related to the ultraviolet spectrum, and so it sees the same symbol on this rock, this mystical cave rock thing. There's the same symbol from the doorknob that Lex found.
Yeah, and you learn that Sinestro had locked it away because he's like, nah, man,
this is dangerous. Yeah,
this is too dangerous, and it goes to again that Sinestro was a hero at a certain point before
is
power
it just me that really wants more of intergalactic anthropologist Sinestro?
Yep.
Yeah, before he was the Green Lantern. I wouldn't say no yet. I wouldn't say no yet.
Nope.
Do you know what's funny? I think it looks best in the yellow Lantern suit, but I do actually have a fondness for the classic blue Spike suit.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that Snyder gives it a reason. Like what is it? It doesn't react to the ultraviolet. That's why he can wear it. Like it gives him some type of shielding from it, and I like that.
Also, can I just say, I never really noticed this until now, but Sinestro sometimes, and this is not a fault of the art, the art's fine, the art's really good here, but sometimes Sinestro, he looks like Alfred, but Alfred's gotten really embarrassed about something, so his face has been all red.
That's right. Yeah, a little bit. It's the mustache.
Yeah, it's the mustache and the hair.
It's also the chin shape as well.
Yeah. Just to point that out. So we cut in, John Stewart's just shown up with the ultraviolet suit on in Spectrum, and basically starts attacking the Justice League. You know what? It's funny. I actually think the panel at the top of that page with Wonder Woman screaming, "Whatever as it's gripping you, you're a friend. You're better than this." I actually kind of love the art there, even though it feels really out of character for Wonder Woman to be screaming exactly, because it looks more like a teenage girl screaming the way she's like.
Yeah, I really don't like that piece, but I think that's one of the. I mentioned last issue how there was occasionally characters were drawn that I just don't agree that how they look.
Well, this is the thing.
And
I think
prime example.
It's not right for Wonder Woman, but I think it looks really good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not badly drawn, but it's a badly drawn Wonder Woman.
But it made me laugh anyway. So I guess I'll forgive it a bit more just because it did make me chuckle. Because it felt so opposite to Wonder Woman that it just made me give it a little laugh.
It looks like Super Sons. It looked like that should be.
It does.
She has the big eyes and the flat face, but John looks terrifying in that ultraviolet. Like he's very menacing.
It's all the tattoos on the head, isn't it?
That too.
Yeah, so his ultraviolet looks like constructs are doing a good job of beating up the League, and really, really tough. Ultimately, though, Cyborg's the one who kind of knocks him out with some sound waves. And
of course it is.
Sonics.
It's Sonics, yeah.
I'm just Cyborg saves the League again.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he's more than a phone booth, okay?
Yes, Snyder's did a good job here. He's trying to make us really take Cyborg as a big deal. In fact, that panel of him like above Aquaman as he's like getting ready to like do the sound waves, he looks quite badass there, to be honest. He's got kind of good look there. But as we cut to inside the totality, we know that Martian Manhunter and Superman are inside there, and Batman's inside Superman, and Hawk Girl's inside Martian Manhunter. But we also know the twist last issue was that Lex Luthor's also inside Superman in his own little ship.
I really wish Lex had been inside a Batman. So Lex, he's like a little Russian doll syndrome.
That could be funny. Yeah. What size would he even be at that point? Because Batman's already shooting molecules. He's already that small that he's shooting molecules with his ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and obviously there's the big reveal later on, which was a fantastic, probably my favorite moment of the book actually. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to it. So basically, this place is trying to like mutate them, and
it's feeling even more like Annihilation.
It is, and Hawk Girl and Batman are basically like blasting all the molecules to like protect them. So they're doing
keeping them from becoming mutated.
It's basically a mix of Inner Space and a bit of the Fantastic Voyage, which was a bit of ship that was small enough to like try and go into the human body, and like the molecules are all like so big. It's just those mixed with a bit of like, I don't know, pick a video game, Space Invaders, lots of shooting.
Yeah.
It's a mix of those things. It's kind of insane. So John wakes up in the lab. and they're like, "Oh, see, what's happening here? What's going on?" And he brings up Umbrax, and that Sinestro locked it away, but he thinks that's what this is, and he's like, "Oh," and he thinks it's connected to like other, was it 6 other forces? Yeah, 6 other forces. Yeah,
7 in total.
And Barry's like, "What, it's still Force? You mean it's real?" So, and I think we've said this before, but I'm fully expecting all of them to relate to one member in some way.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree. Yep.
I mean, how
So now
many
we have the
members have we
Flash,
got?
the Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter. We haven't got any more than and Hawk Girl, I suppose.
I could see not one for Jean, because Jean's already had the thing from Savage. You know, he's got the link
That's true. Yeah.
telepathically. So
Yeah, but what about the things that show up in Dark Atlantis? Like, you don't think those are something to do with Manhunter?
oh sure, yeah, because Little White Martians. No, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Oh.
So maybe not every single one of them, but most of them. I feel like, you know, maybe not maybe Batman, because Batman's not getting any powers.
That's true.
No.
So,
But, I mean, that's Luthor too. Like, that could just be the representative of Luthor. You
Sure,
know,
yeah.
they're the mankind personified. Okay.
But yeah, so they basically look for some energy signals, and they're like, wait a minute, and they basically find the hidden base, the Legion of Doom base, and Aquaman's like, no, but that's like Dead Sea. Nothing's meant to be down there. It's impossible. And Wonder Woman's just like, no, well then, let's go. Or the Justice League.
Exactly.
We do things. So Superman and Jean are still in there, and they find, in the totality, they find huge statues. They're not really statues, but they're sort of standing still like statues. It's like a wall of these titans.
Yeah, they're like a chunk of the source wall is what it looks like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there's
except
more to it than that.
yeah, but they're actually solid. And Jean goes up to sort of try and inspect it telepathically. And I love the evil looking panel of Luthor go, "That's right, Martian, don't slow down, do it." He looks proper menacing in there. So yeah, in his head though, it's like he becomes a child Martian, and there's like a child on the other side of the light, if you will, and almost as if there's a sheet of glass, and they put their hands up to touch, and that's when he receives the vision of like what looks like Martians being killed, or at least similar type beings being eradicated, like just outright chaos. And once again, Jean's terrified. The Titan wakes up. He's like, "You, the first abomination, you must be destroyed." And he's big, galactic, and titany.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's
Yes.
very. I'm getting like old school action adventure vibes from
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like,
In fact, Joe, I mean, there's a lot of great panels in this. One of my favourites, still, maybe the next page, when the League's coming towards the secret lair, and I love how it just kind of looks like Black Manta's helmet, with the lights coming through the window.
and like all these dead whales around it.
Yeah, it's just a really nice panel, and I love that. Obviously, Aquaman's just swimming, but Flash and Wonder Woman are in the invisible ship, and he's questioning, "Wait, why can they see us? Why does it work that way? That's stupid."
Yeah. Why would it work like that? I
Yeah.
love-
Isn't this supposed to be stealthy? What's stealthy about us just floating midair?
Yeah.
It's a fun. It's a fun little banner. And then they go outside. They find the white Martians in the test tubes, which break out,
And they're more primal, like
Yeah.
almost like they've been devolved.
because it's worth
you know.
mentioning. Barry says they look like white Martians, not that they are white Martians necessarily.
Right.
So they're
More
close. but-
animalistic.
Yeah.
So they're fighting. We got the fight with the Titans, and then this is when at the bottom of the page we see someone else is in Hawk Girl's ship. We see just the silhouette of who it is, and it was obviously there's been no hint up until this point that someone else is there. So there's not a lot of time to like process. So I didn't necessarily stop and think about who it was. I just turned the page. So I got the surprise, the full page spread of Joker with a chainsaw. By the way, very.
Yeah.
It's very Texas Chainsaw the way he's holding
I
it
love
up.
how unstealthy a chainsaw is.
Yeah.
But
Like
that's
by
Joker,
definition, as soon as you have to start it up, it makes that huge noise.
There's-
It's like, well, there's
There's
a giveaway.
nothing subtle about the Joker, though, Connor.
No.
So-
Well, there is up until the chainsaw. He's there. He's hidden.
Yeah.
He's shushing. He's quiet.
Well, yeah, but I think that's kind of the point. Is he wants it to be terrifying because she's going to be shocked as soon as she hears it.
Yo, she's gonna get him with the wings. Like, he don't know what he's up against.
Question
He
is,
thinks
can
this is an
can
easy-
those wings, those new wings, take a chainsaw?
I don't see why they couldn't. They're a certain kind of
I
metal.
would go for it. Yeah,
Like-
we'll see some chainsaw action. Here's my question though: how did he get in that ship?
We'll find out.
Because he had to sneak on right before it shrunk. Like that has to be what happened.
Yeah.
So, very interesting to see how that plays out. And then meanwhile, Cyborg and Jon Stewart are trying to they're at the old Watchtower, what's left of it, trying to triangulate signals and look into the Umbrix and all that. When Sinestro shows up, supporting the ultraviolet light, and he went to actually sort of take care of it, but he'd already left, and he tracked it here. So basically, it's been attracted towards Earth. So the big final cliffhanger is that all of these, invisible ultraviolet planets are all surrounding Earth, and we're here. So it's a great big page as well. It's really kind of surreal.
It's a gorgeous page with all of the purple.
Yeah.
It reminded me from the Transformers, Unicron. When Unicron just shows up.
I see that.
You're like, oh man, we're boned.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But I like what it did with the story where it progressed. Like the Stealth Force had to be uncovered first before the rest of these would appear. So it's like one leads to the other. And I almost look at that, and this is probably me doing way too much digging, kind of like how Flash was one of the first of these, the Silver Age heroes to appear, and they went from magic to science-based, and Barry was the first of that, and then Hal. So now we get the Steel Force, and then we get the Ultraviolet Core. I just think it's kind of smart, even if it happened by accident.
We do the reverse. We get these, which are almost a bit more sciencey.
Yeah.
All those characters.
And we get more magic as we go.
We move into magic, especially with Wonder Woman going to dark and getting involved on that magic side of things.
One of them's going to be full on magic. Maybe a couple, but definitely one of them will be. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I reading this and going back to the orders we're talking about that stuck out to me. Like.
Yeah. Worth knowing they did address the moon again. They're like,
moon's not there.
I think Snyder tweeted that an issue, maybe 5, will be dealing with the moon problem.
Yeah, I like that they brought up Geoforce.
Yeah, because there's a line about, we've got something to temporarily take care of the waves and shit, whilst until we actually build a new moon or whatever.
Yeah, but it's not going to last long enough.
Yeah, they're not a ticking clock, but they're acknowledging that yes, the Earth would be affected by the moon suddenly not being there, as it would be. Really important. I think I want to. I really like this show a lot. I think it's. I love that it's split into 3, and we have John and Cyborg together doing one thing. We got Wonder Woman, Flash, and Aquaman doing another thing. We got Superman and Martian Manhunter with the other 2 in their bodies in the totality. None of it feels like. I think it's neatly built up enough that they set up one. They focused on just the totality last issue. That this issue, I feel like really good about the 3 plots going on. None of them feel like rushed. I feel like I understand all of them. My only complaint would be that there's so many concepts of Umbrax and this and that, and
he's throwing them at you fast. Expecting you to go.
I'll criticize that, but the art's really good, and I think I'll say that I love that Justice League feels like an important book. That it feels like an event constantly going on. And this issue didn't dampen that in any way.
So when he started on Batman, there was always that vibe, like he was taking some inspiration from the animated series, and I feel that's true here too. This feels kind of like a darker version of the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think we've known that since we saw the lineup.
Yeah, but I just mean like here with even the storytelling, how the Justice League show early on would break them up into different squads. And here we're getting that too.
And I think it's interesting that we know the next arc is going to be Aquaman focused. We've just introduced a part of the ocean that he thought was, you couldn't go to. He thought it was, so I think that's interesting. It would maybe suggest that the next force that appears is something to relate to Aquaman in some way. So looking forward to that. So we'll see. But no, they're really good. So we'll rate the book. Matt, what would you give Justice League number 3?
This is an 8. The art's solid, the story's there, but like you said, him throwing all these new things at you, it's hard to keep it straight.
It's funny because that's my main critique. But honestly, I'm going to go straight to a 9. I really. This feels exciting to read every week. I read it again, and so far Snyder's not gotten too wordy for his own good. Everything's flowing quite well. So no, I have to get some props. Connor.
I'm going with the 8 because there's just once too many times with the art where the face is bothering me, especially Martian Manhunter. The page just before the double page spread where they see all the big titans. His face, it looks like he's grinning.
Do you know, I know exactly the panel you mean because it stuck out to me as well. I agree with it. I agree with that one. It's a couple
of panels before that as well where he's just got this grin on his face and it doesn't make any sense to me.
That's fair.